All right, welcome to a rare Thursday night stream. Good to see you guys all tonight. We have our wonderful moderators, Kirihiko, Crispy Egg Roll in the house, our unofficial mod, Poop Kid, a whole scores of supporters from Crispy Egg Roll, Twin12, DJ Mittens, Iman Winkle, Izarvar Von, Beliasa, Chief Corb, 22 Bonilla Cupcakes, Anthony Rommel, DMS Design, Poop Kid, Kirihiko, Alpha Echo, Alpha Omega Echo, Broneil, and Steel G underscore NN. Steel Gun, who have all subbed and support the stream. Thank you, Cynthia, for the streams, for the bits. I swear I'm not drunk. Just sound like it. Wildstorm CCG has resubbed as well. I'm a little tired, honestly. Let's put the kids to bed. So this is an old Batman Damned cover. This is larger paper. You can't really tell. Still can't tell. But it's just a placeholder so I can figure out the manual exposure. Sugar Free Daddy and Jeremy L. Joe have resubbed as well. Dave EB8. No lie, will probably fall asleep during the stream way past my usual bedtime. That makes two of us. We'll both be asleep. That'll be a first. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't normally stay up this late. 10 o'clock for sure. But I'm going to draw till 2 o'clock. I'll tell you that since I've tried to keep a more regular schedule and go to bed earlier because I have a day job that requires me to be alert during the day, I find no value really to getting more sleep. I wake up and feel pretty awful. So really, I think it's just my concern about my overall health and reading article after article of how unhealthy, that the most unhealthy thing you can do for yourself is to not get a lot of sleep in terms of shortening your lifespan. And that's the only thing that really kind of keeps me from found a pencil. From keeping the crazy hours I am used to. So I normally go to bed like 11 o'clock at night these days, but I'll be staying up till 2. Working on this secret project. Since this is real work, I don't announce what I'm working on. High risk for heart attack too. Thank you, Kenny Roberts 84. Love it. Maybe we can capture it live. That'd be awesome. Danger Boy 13. Naps. Naps are nice. That's how I usually supplement my short sleep. But I don't know if is that good for you, like sleeping 3 hours and then napping twice during the day. It's that aphasic sleep thing you read about. Anyway, Casual Hero. 5 seconds early, I would have been able to raid. Good to see you back. Hello, Casual Hero. No problem. It's all good. Ceramic Dragon. Love your Justice League 1 through 10 covers. Thank you very much. Appreciate the kind words. All right. I'm going to draw something. Something large. I don't even know what. I mean, I know what, but let me see what the person that has a reference. No response. My guess is that Eddie, who's my editor on these things, he's either it's too early for him to be in bed. He's probably watching a movie. Thank you very much for the generous donation, Casual Hero. Goes straight to my phone. That's pretty exciting. I know I had printouts, so you know what? I'm going to take a quick look. All right, 1 second. I don't see it. You know what I will distract you with though? I found these old drawings. These are like D&D drawings I did. Like my girls' characters back in the day. This is from 2004. So what is that? 15 years ago. Holy moly! This is when my oldest daughter was 12. She's 26 now. So this is a character. She had a ranger called Aramil. You know what? I gotta move this chat part thing over because it is. You can't see any of the art. Let's do that. There we go. See most of it. I think it's 9 by 12. It's on gray paper, ink wash with whiteout. Poop Kid, Demon Girl. So this one's Kelsey. She was 10 at the time. So she had looks like a halfling thief. I think I've posted these on Instagram before. Very Arya like, right? Game of Thrones. And then the last one was for Sienna. This one, she was 6. She's 20 now. This one I did in color. I don't know why. I did these all in the same year, but on their birthdays, so they fell on just different. Look at that rare, that sweet wolf there, right there. Look at that. It's lifelike, isn't it? I don't know what this part here is. I know that's kind of a head, but I don't know what's going on there. It's got 3 legs. Anyway. No feet, Pandemus. That's correct. Even my kids, they don't get the feet. All right. Thank you, Michael Demurgas, for the resub. Banebreaker, thank you very much for the bits. Here's a bit of obscure challenge. What about Watchdog or Vigilante? Oh, yeah, I'm not doing requests. I kind of changed the format of the whole stream. I'm trying to actually do real work while I stream, and that way I kind of don't burn myself out in terms of drawing. Just because some days you might only get 4 hours to draw, and if I stream and I'm doing sketches or giveaways or auction pieces or whatever, I don't have time to get the things I need to get done for the deadline. So thank you, Jake Carlson Art and Grimes Jr. and Waihe. How was Dallas? Dallas was good. I met a lot of you guys in Dallas every show. It's been a while since I've done a show, and so it reminded me that there are a lot of people that watch the stream either on Twitch or in the replays through YouTube. You know what? I don't like that. I love the chat, of course, but let's see if I can move it over a little bit more. If we do that. Hold on a sec. That's not what I meant to do. What's going on? Hmm. All right, let's try that. I'm trying to figure out where I can draw where it's safe. I don't think I had this issue before. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe it's because I'm zoomed in. 1 second, guys. This is what I get for taking too much time between streams here. All right. Is that better? Yeah, there we go. I knew there was more drawing. All right. One second. So yeah, it was really lovely seeing a bunch of you guys at the show in person, as always. All right, what am I going to draw here? NRZ Kane has cheer. Thank you very much for the bits. All right, that's... So I'm thinking about the previous 2 covers I've done, and this is the 3rd cover. And I want the 3, when you stack them nicely on in your collection, whatever, look at them on the wall or on the floor or whatever, I want them to at least look like they had a similar design. So I can't do anything too much of an aberration. So let me see what happens if I pulled up. Perfect. Hello, Ink One. Good to see you again tonight. All right, so here's the challenge. I have to draw an image that looks original but ties in to the first 2 images I've already done. Plus, I want to add additional character that I haven't before. I had an idea before I sat down, but it feels more of an original idea that doesn't fit into the 2 previous covers that well. But let me think what happens if I do this. Okay, I have an idea. Okay. Eddie's willing to drive to the office. I'm saying, no, you don't need to do that. It's crazy. All right. All right. Just sort of exploring using just a regular pencil. I don't even know where I got this. It's from Denmark. Look at that. Fancy. Can't, what am I doing? I, trust me, it says Denmark. Why would I lie? What's wrong with me? I was going there, but I stopped myself. See, I'm getting better. I'm gonna talk about all my adventures from Denmark. So, let's see what I've got going on. Thank you, Jay Wright Stuff and Panzerian for the resubs. Appreciate it. What's going to really sell this image is the textures. Usually I say any tool is pretty good. I've had this eraser. It's called Maped. I don't know who makes it. I don't know how I ended up. I've had this for years and years and years. I've never ever changed the cartridge because it's the world's crappiest eraser ever. I hate it. It's too gritty, too hard, just stupidly shaped. I don't even know why I still own it. Possibly because it's the only eraser I have right now. So if you see me going back to that eraser begging for its help. How is it possible to be a professional artist and not have any tools? Here we go. Here's a real eraser. So much easier. That saved me at least a minute out of my life. I'm just sketching. Wildstorm CCG. Am I the only one that's disappointed that it's Batman again? Did I do Batman last time? I can't remember. This is work. Gotta keep the lights on. Okay. But now, how do I? Hmm. I'm not sure how I'm going to pull this off. In my head, it seemed to make sense. I'm looking for a reference to kind of help spur. I'm trying to incorporate Swamp Thing into this last image with Batman. Tendrils. And this was going to be a swamp. It was emerging out. Maybe it's what happens if I do this? Hmm, not sure. I was thinking of a fusion. No. But now I'm thinking if I'm going to go that route, there's nothing that prevents me from distending it a little bit. More of a conceptual piece, I guess. I need to turn that back towards the reader a little bit. Sorry if I'm quiet. I'm so quiet. I'm thinking. I think the step is more about thinking than drawing, although I'm obviously doing both. But while I'm drawing, I'm thinking, which makes it hard to. Hence, a working stream versus a very different kind of sketching participation type stream. So the idea is to do something that looks kind of horrific. I don't know if you guys, have any of you been reading this story? I don't even know what story I'm talking about. Thank you very much, Sketchy M. Sketchyton, for the bits. Thank you, Ra, for the resub via Prime. If you are Amazon Prime member, you get a complimentary Twitch membership every month. I think you just have to pick who you want to support or sub to every week. Hmm. Okay. I'll zoom in a little bit after I kind of do the overall sketch. Still playing around with the idea. I only have this one piece of paper. So shame on me for not. If I had a couple, I could burn through a couple ideas. So if I have another idea, I'm going to erase and start over. Hmm. Hmm. Sketch 22 has resub. Thank you very much for the resub. See that still. The arm was kind of flat in that plane like this, and just pushing it out more like that. They'll do a couple things like cast a shadow across the chest like this. This I was envisioning being pretty much black. Here, there's gonna be a lot of blacks on this cover. Just looking for reference on the costume. Hmm. Hello, Kawaii Guy. Rating with a party of 17. Kawaii Guy. Super cute name. Hello. Welcome to our wonderful stream. Superhero swimmer art. Is it a lit late for you? School night? What's going on? If you are new to this channel, you have come across a live drawing stream where I am going to pencil and ink this piece of art. I'm making this. I will be inking this. More grammatically correct. I will be able to interact more with chat once I figure out what I'm doing with the thought processes. chat going by too fast for you guys? All right, let me just do this. What if I did? It's good. Am I needlessly? How's that? Is that better? Better or worse? Way better? Better. All right. Now, the trick to this piece is there's going to be a lot of noodling, but I need to organize it in a way so that it doesn't obliterate the drawing. You can still read exactly kind of what I'm doing. What happens if I do this? Make sure I've got the costume correct. Okay. Looking for. There, I got some clean reference for it. You guys are funny. Just catching up on chat. Thank you very much, Queen City Amusements, for the bits and the cheer. Did I lose the page? I did. Oh. No, I didn't. There it is. Wolfie Poo has also resubbed. Great to see you in Dallas and enjoyed the panel. Thank you very much for coming. It was the con was very busy, especially Saturday. Sunday, I did two panels. One was a Batman 80th panel, and then a Spotlight panel. And they were not as heavily attended as these types of panels tend to be, especially the Batman's 80th. But might have been that it was Sunday. It could have been other programming that was going on. The Spotlight panel was an intimate affair, as they say. I don't know if you people were there. Well, Wolfie Poo was, but it was like 25 people, maybe 50 people. It's hard to say. It was like a bigger room, and they were kind of spread out. Maybe it was 50 people. I don't know. Sketch 22. I've already mentioned Sketch 22, but Keone 7. Finals graded and submitted. Time to watch. Are you a teacher? Keone 7? I imagine you are. Or a TA? That's cool. A lot of teachers actually at the panel on Sunday at Dallas. As an FYI, this weekend I'm home. The following weekend I will be at Detroit Motor City Comic Con. Saturday only. I know some of you guys will be there. Keone 7, I'm a graphic design teacher. Cool. Hey, Kelsey, Demon Girl 00. One of my kids. Demon Girl 00. What a name. Kelsey, I was showing you artwork from before. I was showing her. Amaryllis? I'm not hating on it. I'm your parent. I love everything you do. Halfling thief. What are these called? Like a pouch of something. Well, I don't think I showed these on because I had. Yeah, I think I did show these. What am I saying? I'm gonna restart the stream. Okay. I'm wondering if I'm gonna carry through this idea of the branches kind of ripping through. Let me see what happens if I quickly continue with that line of thinking. Hmm. I don't know. That's a lot of straighter line arcs. I like kind of what I've got here with the snaking kind of thing. So I'm gonna explore that idea now and say, well, what happens if they snake through? Comes a little. It's a very different kind of vibe. Uh, Amaryllis. 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 That's pretty good for a 10-year-old. That's a type of flower. You knew that at 10 years old? That's crazy. 13th Ronin. Yes, I am making this tonight. Shortly, shortly, shortly. The last idea, instead of is rather than drawing all the things through to a straight line, is that I take them out. So it's a mix of the two, I guess. I don't know. I'm opening my mind up to all the possibilities. Hello, Jamonji. X, what happened? Hello, Vic Rattlehead 78. Ramon Nubez says needs flowers. There'll be flowers. Don't worry. You'll get your damn flowers. There's gonna be flowers. There's gonna be flora of all kind and leaves. I didn't realize there were so many art directors online tonight. It's awesome. You guys gonna be tired at your advertising companies tomorrow. Good evening, proper artist. Wow. Is Kelsey taking shots at me while I'm working? John Keg, thank you very much for the host. The bees, yes. There'll be birds and bees. Lone Dragon Wolf? Yeah, my name is Jim Lee. I'm a comic book artist. I started a long time ago, Marvel. Started my own comic book company. Then I sold it to DC, and I've been there ever since. Taco Bell run later? What does that mean? It has two meanings. Nah, that's probably not healthy for me to eat late at night like that. Once you, yeah, finish it tonight, Studio J, that is JH, that is the goal. I have 3 more hours. Superhero swimmer art. Used to draw on stone tablets. That's right. Shade Priest, do you still keep in touch with Chris Claremont? I don't know if there was ever a time I kept in touch, meaning uh, back when I started, as um, Superhero Swimmer Art said, it was back in the Stone Age. We had to call each other long distance, so it was expensive to keep in touch. So for the most part, um, the only people I really communicated with a lot early in my career were the other guys from Image, and that's because we were all part of one company. But other creators, especially if you're working on a book together, you might only communicate once or twice a month because, phone bills. They charge you money to make longer calls to further distances. And the signal ran through wires for longer periods of time, longer distances. They charge you money. It seems so silly now. Unbelievable. Oh, hey, how are you? Yeah, what's going on? My wife's home. Huh? Yeah? She saw Art Garfunkel tonight. Yeah? He has the voice of an angel, I hear. He also did a what? A comedy show? Commentary. Yeah. Like he was streaming. Yeah. Without an internet connection. Just talking to people in real time. Yeah. Oh, when people behind her weren't getting pissed? Right. No offense to any of the French people that are streaming or watching the stream. Can you guys hear this? Just say no and you'll get all the good stuff. They all say hi, Carla. They said no, they can't hear. Rotary or touch tone phone? No, you know there was these devices you push and that send an electrical signal like tap 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 tap. No, no offense to the French people. Yes. She's wearing a sweatshirt. It says, I speak fluent French. Hermes, Chanel, Dior, Saint Laurent. Yeah, yeah. Morse code. That's right. Grant Morrison code. That's what it was called. Did I know Thomas Edison, Mr. Fart Brains? My wife got a new car tonight. It's very exciting. I kind of want to just jump off stream to run downstairs and look at it.
It's so sweet. Oh my gosh, let me
All right, okay. Wait, don't touch the green screen, otherwise things will.
That's from the side windows. It shines on the ground.
What?
Isn't that amazing?
Is that on purpose?
I don't know. I shut the door and then there was this huge Mercedes symbol.
Is that real? Yeah, check it out. So this is a picture of like, all right. She keeps her phone on like the dimmest setting. So this is side of the car. These cracks are in the glass. Not judging. So this is the side of the car, and apparently it shines a light down on the floor.
So cool.
Is that like a normal feature?
And then when I start it, it like
Oh man, maybe I should switch to a live stream off my phone and take everyone downstairs, huh? So this is the car. It's actually this small. It's not. Oh,
what are you doing?
I don't know. I went to. I don't know. What is this? Uh, I don't know. Why am I so old? I don't know how to operate a phone. Your phone's not responding to anything. All right. Here we are. I don't know what happened. That's the car right there. I love you too. All right. Luckily, only turned 40 once. All right. What? Yeah, I'll be on till 2. I'll wake you up though.
Survivor tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Love you. Yeah, it's I had to buy that car online, sight unseen. Um, and my wife was down at Disneyland today celebrating with her friend. So I shipped the car down to Disneyland from the Bay Area, Pleasanton, something like that. So they called her up when it arrived. They took her to a hotel that's very close to, I think, the Grand Californian Hotel. It's right next to it. Oh, there's a raid. Hello. Cryotic. It's been a while. It's been a while. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for the host, the raid. Very cool. That is actually one of the cooler things about streaming at night. When I used to draw like at this time of night, I would catch the tail end of some of these streamers that were gaming 11 o'clock at night, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and they would just come in with a ton of people. Uh, so yeah, so everyone give everyone a welcome in. I'm drawing Batman becoming a tree. Money swag dog, that is correct. This, kids, is paper. Is made from wood pulp being pushed together with chemicals, makes a bond and a substrate. This is another piece of wood. It has a piece of coal stuck in the middle. That coal, when you apply pressure to the wood pressed paper, creates a line. There is no on and off. It is naturally rechargeable. It activates just upon picking it up. Rich Corinthian paper, correct. uh, and this is an eraser. It's like the Control X or Delete button. I'm just goofing around. I'm not goofing around. This is actually professional work. I don't have all the fancy subs like people on Twitch. But I do have some very devout fans, so I appreciate them. But I get paid to draw for a living, and that is what I'm doing now. Someone felt pity on me. Pirate Idealist, thank you very much for the cheers. You can make it. You can make huh. Anyway. All right. So the goal is to have lots of detail kind of go into this, flow out, which will take your eye to really the most important part, which is this head. It's going to be dark around the edges, light here, so that black and the detail pops off the white field. And then when it goes to color, the first cover was pretty much like a burgundy color. The second cover was mostly kind of this yellow mustard. This, I imagine, would be mostly sort of a brownish green color. That's what I'm thinking. The shoe thief says, something. Most of us drawing on Twitch were inspired by you, lol. Yes, that's cool. ASMR, yes. I actually know what that means. I'm very proud. Look. Son of Liberty. Oh, wow, he knows. Don't make it creepy. I've been told I have a very calm and soothing voice. Demon Girl 00 knows otherwise. Yeah. But welcome in, all you new people. It's 11:20. Can I just say that I love drawing this kind of stuff? Monsters, vegetation, rubble, rebar, reinforced concrete. Because it's very organic and you don't have to worry as much. There's structure here, and obviously I wanted to kind of mirror real world kind of structure, but at the same time, it can be exaggerated and it looks actually better the more you exaggerate. And but you can't do it too much because then it looks broken. It doesn't look like reality, I guess. All right, so that line there is the represent the tricep. Nope, it represents the shoulder muscles. Here's the tricep over here. I don't know what I'm doing. got too fancy. Try to call out a muscle group. Some of these like tree branches or tendrils can look like veins. Thank you very much, Tiny Bubbles 9621. I think I've met Tiny Bubbles 9621 in real life. Teeny Ray Bar. Commission from a fan or coming? No, this is work for the company I work at. Sorry if I'm being cryptic. It's pretty obvious what I'm working on, but I don't want to be accused of sharing things before they're shareable. But at the same time, this will be shared instantly. Like when I finish it tomorrow, I am sure they will push this out to retailers and I'll put it on Insta. So really, I'm not, what am I really? But you guys are seeing it first. You're seeing it come to life literally in real time. The goal is to get this finished in ink. This is a large piece of paper. So for comparison, for those of you who don't know, this is like blank board. Obviously, I use this as a sort of a backing board when I do smaller sketches. That's why there's ink around the peripheral edges, the periphery. This is a photocopy of a comic book page, right? That fits right onto there. So this is like a page that's inked. And you can see, I'll put my hand here for reference, size reference. This is the size we draw it. It's about roughly 1.5 times larger than print. So the actual physical comic book is about this big. But we draw larger so we can get more detail and it's just a lot easier to draw at a larger size. So this is a photocopy from a page from Batman Hush, number 6, page 7. Harley Quinn confronting Bruce Wayne and his date Selena Kyle while they're at yes. So then, for comparison's sake, you can see if this is the full-size paper page, 11 by 17. The size I'm working at here. Right, there's another probably good 4 or 5 inches on the bottom, and then about 5 or 6 inches on the side. 5 inches on the side. Pirate Idealist. Do I have inking assistants? I do not. I have no assistants. Art assistants. In the past, I have had sometimes people help me out drawing like a background, but a lot of times I will erase it and redraw it. It's good sometimes to, if you're under a real deadline crunch, to react to something that's already drawn, even if you completely redraw it, as opposed to drawing from scratch or a blank piece of paper. But that's pretty rare that I do that. It's just easier doing it myself. Tim Tam Jim Jam. Thank you very much for the compliment. Thanks, cool. Thank you. The Jaker 99, I've been on since 10, so about an hour and 20 minutes. This is a cover. Inking assistants, a thing of the past. I don't think there were a lot of inking assistants. I think there were like art assistants, so they would help out in the inking and maybe they would pencil some backgrounds. An inking assistant, I guess, would ink all the backgrounds and everything but the faces and the main figures, possibly. But I think a lot of your best inkers really want to handle all aspects of it. I don't know a lot of inkers or pencilers, for that matter, that have assistants that help with the art like that. I'm going to try to do something here like this. What happens if I actually separate this out? And the cowl is like kind of separated. And this kind of goes through here. That's no good. It widens the head too much up there. I'm not going to have it completely shorn off. I'm thinking like it's almost it's like stretched, torn, so that you see the tendrils, but then you also see bits of the costume like that, kind of as if it's torn. Something like that. Thinking. Chromatic abyss. How long does it take you to draw something like this? Well, I started at 10:30 or no, 10 o'clock with a blank sheet of paper, and I messed around for the first 15 or 20 minutes, which is typical. Thank you, DJ Kento. Yes, Eddie he went to the office anyway. I told him he didn't need to, but that's the kind of guy Eddie is. He goes extra mile for me. So I'm going to send him what I'm doing right now to show my editor I'm working. Conceptual piece. uh, yeah, I don't think Eddie wants to watch me draw live. Well past that. Shade Priest. Yeah, all the characters are part of DC. Some of it is being published right now as directed or as written by Warren Ellis. He was doing The Wildstorm. He was also doing Michael Cray. And it's different from the stuff we did in the 90s, but I find it to be a very cool exploration, reimagining of things. If those are the things that you're interested in and want to check out kind of a different take on it, I would suggest picking up the trade. These two are parallel, which I don't like. Just change that angle up a little bit. Maybe I will do one large one. That goes all the way through. What happens if I do that? I don't know. Might be better not to do that. Kind of preserve this negative space over here. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Then I'm gonna. Now the thing is, with a lot of these tendrils, you would think, well, you could just do it with. Ooh, there was a message deleted by a moderator. I wish I, as the owner of this stream, could see that, but I'm sure it was nothing. Um, is it a deceased cover? No, it's not. It's Batman Damned #3 cover. Thank you very much. Got a seriously generous donation from the Jaker99. I just want to say thanks. You have inspired me to draw again. I've been watching you all your draw alongs to learn to get better. You are an amazing, I think it's going to say artist, but I'm going to put person in there. Why not? You're an amazing person. I just want to say that thank you for what you've done, for what you have done for me and my art. Okay, thank you very much. That's super kind of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Um, I should stream at night more often. Obviously, the people that actually have some bank, I don't even know if people say that anymore. They're on at night. People with followers that can raid, support streams, apparently they're night people. Shade Priest, I am actually streaming again. Some bank, yeah, Son of Liberty. I still say bank. All right, there we go. Cheddar, lettuce. Spirit Solar Art. There's a 16-year-old. I think he's 16. Are you 17? I don't know. Now it's called Stacks. Wildstorm CCG Stacks. That's right. Apparently, all the peeps with Stacks are up late at night. I don't even know what I was doing there. Sorry. I apologize. Kenny Roberts 84. This is my first stream. I'll definitely be back. Thank you. Oh God, no. Yes, that is the correct response. Gang signs. This is gang signs. What's a gang? All right. I was around when the first gangs were just forming. Just to let you know. Am I dead? 9 times over. Yes. Gucci gang. Yes. Z Money Swag Dog. You have my promise. If you find pictures of me from the 90s, you can. That was just as embarrassing back then too. So comics may be cool, but I will never be cool. All right. So now it's like the tendrils down here are like, I'm thinking it's almost like Mother Earth is forming this sort of claw type thing going on. What I was saying before is that these tendrils, you figure I could do that with ink, and I probably could, but I want to lay the groundwork down and have them kind of interact in space so they're not all flat, or they kind of basically cross over in the same plane, but that is three-dimensional in the Z plane, right? So some of this will go into the paper, and then out the other side. That possibility exists. So to do that effectively, you really have to at least do this kind of light penciling. I can say that I never had parachute pants. I think. No, I never did. I did have a members only jacket back in the 80s. I had to bug my parents big time to get those. Varnays. Some of you older gentlemen out there, people, sorry. I'll tell you superhero swimmer art. There was a time when I was young, and I will just digress about this for a second because it literally is the modern day version. I had to walk 15 miles in the snow to get to school. There was a time when I was young, and that time went by very quickly. So for all you kids out there who are watching the stream late at night, make the most of your time. That's all I can say. I remember being like 12 years old, out on the playground during whatever recess, and just going like, "Oh my God, when's it going to be summer?" And it's like it was a month away. It's taking so long. Time seemed to move at such a snail's pace. And now I literally plan like 5 years at a time. It's ridiculous. Part of that is because of work. We do like 5 year planning, budget planning, but even even beyond that, with family and just things, just it just makes life go by so fast. The Jaker99 apologizes for his poor grammar with a penalty. Dude, you don't need. It's all good. It's all good. Thank you very much. You're super generous. I really appreciate your support. Sorry for my horrible grammar and spelling. Just finished work in Australia. No apologies needed. Absolutely not. Thank you very much again for your generosity and support. All right. Now the question is: should the roots all come into here, or is it coming from the rest of the body in? I'm thinking from the rest of the body in because I don't want to have. Well, I don't know. It's going to go a lot of detail and contrast between the white areas and black areas here. But when it gets down to here, it's going to be mostly black and very kind of noodly and gray and then black. So let's see what happens if I kind of do this. This tendril's kind of coming off. Wonder what it's like if you're on Twitch and you're watching someone like Cryotic game and then you raid and you go to a stream where someone's drawing like, is that disorienting? Are you like WTF? I mean, what? It's like, um, yeah. It's like, what is this thing that's happening in front of me? Saint Anne, it's very calming. I was already painting during Cry's stream. Okay, that's cool. No, it's peaceful. I prefer it to be honest. Well, that'll be our little secret there. It's wonderful with your voice. Apparently, a lot of people are going to bed right now. To be honest, Cry's kind of like you, just pretty relaxed or lax. Cool. I appreciate that. Oh, I don't miss being young. Superheroes are. It's actually much better to be older. You can just like relax. You can be the real you. I think, and this is my last bit of advice for you youngsters out there. I'll have you know, is that you spend a lot of your youth trying to fit in and be things that you aspire to be. And I'm not saying professionally, just in terms of, I'll just leave it at that. And I think you get to a certain age, it's not that you give up or don't care. It's more that you're comfortable and you know yourself and you spend more time thinking about what you do and what you can bring to life rather than defining who you are, if I can. So there we go. Better to be older, confirmed by Delias. Well, let me tell you, Beliasa, when you're older, you have no choice. You can't go backwards, so you might as well just say you enjoy it better, right? Not yet, anyway. Yes, Kelsey's working the time travel machine. So deep. Yes, the joy of life. Am I attending Boston? Someone asked me Boston Fan Expo. No, not this year. Sneep Peeny Rudy, graduating college in 2 days. Awesome. Congratulations, man. Aching back, yes. Ole Olenius. Yeah, I've shared with I usually stream like Sunday mornings, and so I've shared with the streamers like the lovely benefits of getting older. You wake up in the morning like a regular person. You get out of bed and you go like, "Crap! Did I run a marathon in my sleep last night?" Because my ankles are swollen and they ache for no reason. It's just my back's fine though. I tore my rotator cuff, my shoulder. That was like the worst. That made me feel pretty bad for like 10 months, some ridiculous amount of time. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is you gain wisdom as you get older, insight. There's value there. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna put a big root down here. As for the Jaker 99, you know what I mean by that, right? I was just seeing if there's anyone else in Australia that knows what I'm talking about. Rusty Codemaster. Ray's Hun Anthony is basically spamming the same. Jim never gets old. What's the secret? If you've been listening at all, it's the exact opposite. Stanley 27. Do I like Art Germ's art? Of course I like Art Germ's art. We hire him to do covers for us. He's amazing. And also a superlative human being. Do I attend international conventions? I do. Did I smoke a good one after the interview with Dumbfounded? um, he's a cool guy. Crunkalunka. Now I know there's very different kinds of Twitch handles late at night. I feel like there's a whole different subculture of people. Hello, all the way from New Zealand. Fantastic. Greed 13 after or 12. Sorry. After years of drawing, do you feel drained not wanting to draw anymore? Absolutely not. I don't. Side Turn has resub. Thank you very much. Cryptic Games has resub. Good to see you, Cryptic Games. The Jaker99 is subbed using Prime. Awesome. What was the question? Do I feel tired? No, I think I've paced myself pretty good. I I think if I did a monthly book for my entire career, like 12 issues a year for 31, 32 years, I've been in the business. This is my 33rd year. I started in 87. I would probably feel a little burnt out, but I don't. I draw just enough so that I feel satisfied and happy that I'm creating something, but I don't draw enough where. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is I do miss drawing, and I look forward to drawing when I can, and so that's kind of why I've been streaming, doing actual work, so that I don't kind of burn myself out and find myself feeling compelled or obligated to stream. I'm doing it because I have a deadline and I want to draw, right? All right, I think this is. I don't know what's going to go on over here. Once I do this and establish the values here with ink, I could either just go to a straight black silhouette here like this, right? And then splatter out that way with a toothbrush, a real kind of fine mist going out directionally, and then kind of settling down here. There's some sort of weird fog. Or I could actually leave it completely open and have the colors kind of lay in a very kind of subtle background with sort of a dark green field here, olive with a lighter kind of lime green kind of color here. I will be at Detroit Comic Con. Pinchy Phil has resub for 2 months. Thank you very much, Pinchy Phil. And that's next weekend. I'll be there. So what I'm doing not this weekend, but next weekend, I'm flying to Vegas on Friday. There's a Diamond Comics retailer event, so I'm going to go do a meet and greet with a bunch of prominent retailers that support DC Friday night. And then I'm going to get on a plane and take the red eye into Detroit and go to Motor City Comic Con. And I'll be there first thing Saturday morning. I'll be there for most of the day till around 3 o'clock, and then I'm gonna jet, as they used to say. I will travel. I will Uber to the airport and fly to Chicago, and I'm gonna go see my friend who's in a band perform at a music fest near Midway Airport. I don't know if any of you guys are System of a Down fans, but I know several of the people in the band. But the drummer, John Dolmayan, is my best friend, best man at my wedding. I try to go out and support all their concerts, performances. So that's where I'll be Saturday night. I'll sleep on the flights to Detroit and from Detroit to Chicago. And then Sunday morning, I'll wake up and fly back to LA. So it should be a good time. Looking forward to it. They don't perform a lot these days, but when they've gone like on European tours, I've done that, and that's been a lot of fun. Now I'm looking at this like, no, it might be too busy, but I have all these opportunities to kind of simplify it as I kind of go forward. Danger Boy 13. Oh my God, I'm so sleepy. You have my permission to go to bed. My permission to go to bed. All right. Oh, we'll look at the reference that Eddie sent me. Avenger XUNB. Do you upload to YouTube as well? Yeah, I usually wait a day and then I upload the file to YouTube. It's youtube.com/Jim Lee. Good morning from Romania. Good morning, Galbalth. Galbalth. Sorry. Superhero Summer Art. Yes, you should be. It's almost midnight. Although when I was your age, wow, back in the days, they didn't have watches or clocks. I didn't know how late I stayed up. Um, no, I would stay up to like 1:30 doing homework. I would do literally 4 or 5 hours of homework in high school. It was ridiculous, dude. Yeah, Daniel J. Newman. Yeah, they're performing in Columbus at a music fest in Ohio Friday night. I was not playing WoW. There was no WoW back then, Kirihiko. Those Pong. I remember getting a Pong for my parents' Christmas and playing it with my sister like for hours. Two white bars with a white moving white bar in between. Pong, 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 pong. It was amazing. So good. You think I'm joking, but all right, I'm looking at the reference. Lee Bermeo's art. When is this guy gonna get good? This art is amazing. It is just friggin' amazing. Look at this. I'm sharing stuff I shouldn't be sharing, but I have to because it's just. Look at this. Oh my god. It's gorgeous. All right, still looking. Just want to confirm a couple things. All right, things confirmed. I'm good to go. Yep, yep, yep. All right, we start inking. Jean Carr says, "Are you not allowed to talk about blank?" LOL. What do you mean? Where do you get that idea? What are you talking about? Uh, how old was I when arcades came out? Two messages deleted by. Um, do I ever feel like doing what characters? What? I'm just trolling you guys. I don't even know what that means, but that's what I'm doing. I have a filter on my on my chat. It blanks out certain words. All right. Do you still play any computer games? Define play. If he means like tap on the keys and move the mouse around and yell expletives as like I get killed and carried by other players, absolutely, I do. I'm pretty good at that. I do that too. I bet a lot of you do. The ones that don't have aimbots. That's right, Nico Cap X. I know. I know. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to come out and tell me the truth. I know. Does Crispy carry you? The truth be told, Poop Kid carries us both. Yeah, no scope. Reeves, his kids are good. Top Crunch, how are you so chill and talking away when you have this thing due tomorrow morning. Guess that's 33 years experience for you. Uh, I don't. I know I'm gonna finish, so I don't feel tired. That's usually the thing that would prevent me from finishing. Just that kind of like, oh, I should just lay down, and go to bed. Um, Making deadlines generally has not been a difficult thing, as I say, kind of tongue in cheek. Um, it's it's not the actual act of drawing that's slow. I think it's finding the time to do it. So I think I've done most of the hard work at this point. I was just taking a break before I start. So I guess we'll start. Although I don't know if I like. Do I like this? Like that there? And I'm gonna put. There's gonna be foliage, leaves. Okay. I don't know about these poking out. I might get rid of those, and then because I'm gonna take most of this to black down here. That's at least what I'm telling myself right now. All right, so here's the inking part of the stream. I'll give you guys an opportunity. Um, some of you draw along while I'm doing this. I don't know why, but if you are, give you a moment to once we pick up our microns. Where's Amaryllis? Here's Amaryllis. She's back. She's the MVP of the stream tonight. Oh, I meant the flowers in the drawing. I don't know. They're right here. The flowers actually be down here. Maybe. If this is all black, the flowers would be kind of white or gray here. I don't know. So you see the line I'm doing is kind of modulating a little bit, so it's not really a clean straight line. This is a 0.5 marker. Usually I use a 4, but on board this large, um, kicking it up a millimeter. And it's also the only marker I have right now. So this is what I'm inking with. If you use too fine of a marker, things just kind of disappear. They turn into a gray mist as the images kind of shrunk down. If you use too thick of a marker, um, looks kind of heavy-handed and fat. You lose some of the delicate sort of lines. The Jaker 99. Making It Rain. I'm not even sure what that means either. Jim, what what are they naming this comic? Uh, Pretty soon I'm gonna call this comic the Jaker 99. This is it's called Batman Damned, issue 3. Eric Fisher art. Scott Williams on vacation? No. Um, Carl Sycomon. Do you have Twitters so I can follow? I do have Twitters. Jim Lee. I'm at Jim Lee. Hard to remember. On both Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and Twitch. Good night, Marcus Webb, MD. 3 in the morning. That's perseverance. Um, yeah, so I'm on Twitter. I don't use Twitter. That Instagram's where it's at for me. I prefer that. Just reacting to things, loose sketches and blobs and stuff that were just really created by random when I kind of loosely penciled this. I see these kind of teeth kind of colored very kind of light yellow, brown, bits of red or something. I do have MySpace. GeoCities. I never had GeoCities. Never had Friendster. All right, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see because we're getting into the inks. Let me see what I can do here. Let's get in here. Whoa, 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 whoa. How'd that happen? There we go. Stop, stop. What the heck is going on? It will not zoom and stay zoomed. What's going on? Stay. Why is it doing that? There's nothing in the way of the button. Now it's back further than I want it to be. You know what? That's stupid. I'm going to go in a little bit, and then I'm going to do the zoom through OBS. ICQ, yes. I during the days of what was that game? The predecessor to EverQuest. What was that game called? It was a pixel-based game. Excuse me. Ultima Online, UO. We used ICQ to communicate. There we go. Stop. All right, the camera's working now. I have no idea what I did. I did exactly the same thing I did before. How weird is that? It's strange. I thought there would be far fewer people at midnight than watch than the people that watch me Sunday morning, but it's roughly the same. All right, this is better. You guys can see a little more detail. Ink 1, yes, you guys are loyal. 2 in the morning, crazy. And 0, we came for Cry and we stayed for Jim. Appreciate it. Show some skin, you'll get more peeps. Nico Cap X. Yeah, somehow. I find that hard to believe. Yeah, so Saturday, I'm just going to replace the usual Sunday stream because it's Mother's Day. I'm going to ink over some art that I was sent by one of the people in chat. That was one of the giveaways, sort of get your art inked by me. And then I think Superhero Summer Art and I were going to do a collab, as the kids like to say. We're doing a collab. We're working together. Yeah, I'm gonna ink something he penciled and gave me, and then we're gonna sell that, make stacks. What's the split? 90-10. The old image split. When we this is a funny story. I think it's funny at least. In the early days of Image Comics, we had just left Marvel, and it was just the artists, right? It was just us, and so we didn't have an infrastructure, i.e., employees, to handle all the things that you need to handle if you start self-publishing, right? We didn't have anyone. So we partnered with a company called Malibu, and they would handle our distribution. They would solicit through Diamond, tell the retailers that we're putting out a comic book. They would then get the art from us, make arrangements to get it printed, sent to Diamond for distribution. Then they would handle the, whatever. So there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes stuff that has to get done before a comic book kind of gets in your hands. And so they're negotiating with us to figure out what to charge us for doing that. And in my head, and I think in general, like business, it's always good, a lot of people take the approach, well, look, you say what you want to offer, what your bid is first. I'm not going to reveal my hand, and then I'll counter and get more. That's a pretty normal way of kind of approaching negotiation. But I do like to think there's value in knowing before ahead of your time, like kind of what you think is a fair price or a fair deal, because I think that ultimately makes you happier if you can achieve that, right? Anyway, long story short, I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, look, if we get like 60-40, right? That'll be I can live with that. Where we get 60% of the money and they get 40% for doing all that work, you know. And so we sit down, and I'm sure in their head they're thinking 50-50. And we'll give up 60-40. These guys are the biggest names in comics at that time, and we're a smaller publisher. We have a lot of upside. Um, no independent comic had sold more than 100,000 copies at that point, which was Aliens versus Predator from Dark Horse. And comics then were about buck 50, right? Half that money goes to the publisher, roughly. So if you sold 100,000 copies, 50 grand goes to the publisher. They got to pay for printing, stitching, binding, blah, blah, blah. And so some share of that money gets kicked back to the creators. And so the split comes out of that money. And I give Todd full credit for this. But in the negotiations, Todd's like, and I do a horrible Todd impersonation, so I won't do it. But he basically said, no, guys, we're not doing a 60-40. It's 90-10. And I'm like looking at him and saying, hey, I'm not with this crazy guy here. What are you, nuts? Who's gonna do a 90-10 deal? I'm not doing the impersonation, man. I don't need to go viral. I've got my followers. Uh, and I'm just like going, who is this madman? And I'm not part of this insanity here. Just want you to know. But he was right. He stuck to 90-10. We talked about it. And we was like, all right, you know what? Let's go in 90-10. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And sure enough, they took the 90-10, dude. And you know what? They still made a lot of money because we didn't sell 100,000 copies. We sold 1,000,000 copies, right? Right. It was awesome. So yeah, Todd doesn't play poker. I asked him that, and he said, "I used to play because he used to play baseball or minor league baseball, or he's trying to get into whatever." And his thing was, I used to play, but then one time, like while I was playing with my buds, I saw one of my friends like cheat or attempt to cheat or something, and it just really got to him. Like it's like, what? I thought we were playing with a bunch of friends. Like, what the hell's going on? You know? And it really kind of soured him to the idea of gambling with friends. I understand that. That doesn't stop me. I still play poker. I used to play in a weekly game, but it's kind of died out. We got a fifth dog. And I say this because I just heard a dog yelping. Yelping? Isn't that an app? Wyan for art. have you discovered any real talent through your streams? I'm searching for real talent right here. I mean, from your followers. Oh, good question. Yes, there's real talent. I wanted to phrase this properly. There's definitely real talent, whether it's talent that's ready to draw professional comics, uh, not as much. I would say the ratio between like when we ran like a talent search through Homage Studios Wildstorm back in the day, we used to get this is back before email, right? So we would get these large bins from the post office. They were made of like plastic, but they like air foam plastic. I don't know what it is. It's plastic that's folded, so most of it's air, so it's light but sturdy. Um, and we would get in a box. Imagine like a water cooler or ice cooler full of packets of mail. We get like 4 to 10 of those. Uh, I don't know how regularly we're getting them. We got thousands. Let's just say thousands and thousands of submissions. And out of those thousands, we would bring in anywhere from 6 to 10 artists that we liked in a wave, a flight of artists. And yeah. And so, like, the first wave was like Brett Booth, who's still working at DC, Jeff Scott Campbell, Alex Garner, Ryan Benjamin. They were like the first two waves. Lee Bermejo was one of the later waves. Carlos Standa was one of the later waves. And we would, it was like is it like American Idol? I don't know. I don't know what they do in American Idol anymore. But usually I would call up the artist, the kid. And most of these people were like 17 to 21 years old, maybe. And I would call them up. Superhero Swim Art, Brett isn't working on it. Thank you for the update. But maybe he is. You just don't know. uh, so I would call them up and tell them that, hey, I like your work. I want you to come, be an intern. Come to Wildstorm. We'll fly you in. We'll put you up in an apartment, and you will essentially, live in La Jolla, San Diego, and we'll teach you the ropes, and you can make a career in comics. And so sometimes the people worked at fast food places. I think JJ Kirby worked at either Taco Bell or Kentucky Fried Chicken. I can't remember. Some were like fresh out of art school, like Ryan Benjamin. Jeff Campbell was, I think, 19, so was just living at home. Brett Booth, I think, had graduated from that art school. Alex Garner had graduated from UT Austin. He was the only guy that actually made me write a letter, I think, to his dad, basically saying, hey, you have been accepted as an art intern. We will fly you out and, employ you at this rate or something. Like it was like a real job or something. um, and I always give him grief about it still. And, but sometimes you call and they go like, get the hell out of here. And they, they hang up the phone on you like they didn't believe. Because they would then tell me like, yeah, their friends would know that they were trying to get into comics. And so sometimes their friends would call them up, pretending to be like Stan Lee, offering them jobs and stuff. And they would get pranked essentially. So, yeah, they didn't know. But we essentially put these young kids into what they called, we eventually started calling the crack house. That was the shared apartment. So when I say we put them up in an apartment, it was in La Jolla, which is a super nice part of San Diego. But we put all six of the kids into one apartment. I don't know why I'm laughing about it. Well, the apartments are like $1,200 a month or something, but we put all six of them in there, and it was the best, right? They're all young adults that have never lived away from home for the most part, and I never visited because, frankly, I didn't want to catch any diseases. I didn't know all, vaxxers, all that stuff, right? And but the stories I would hear about just piles of dishes, dirty dishes in the sink, and just empty food containers just in the corners. I mean, can you imagine? Yeah, a lot of them live kind of at the studio. Like people were there like almost 24/7 a lot of days. And eventually we had like two crack houses. So I think maybe three, four people per apartment or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, they would come in during the day. They'd roll in around 11 o'clock. Some would come in baked. I think that's the technical term. Their eyes would be bloodshot. And we give them like trading cards to do, or sometimes like there was a period of time where we were doing DVD menus, right? When DVDs were a hot thing, they were just making so much money for entertainment companies. Everyone was creating their home catalog. This is pre Netflix, of course, and so at Wildstorm we had the people that worked on the comics, but then we also had a group that did creative services like an ad company or whatever. And so sometimes the artists, if they weren't quite ready to do um, comic book art, they would draw your damn DVD menus. I think something like that. And even as I said, I'm like, what does that mean? There's no art in DVD menus. They did something. And they would do trading cards, short stories, and then eventually we'd move them onto like real stories, comic books. A few went straight onto comic books, like Jeff Campbell. He's super talented. He started right with Gen 13. He had characters that he had created as a kid. We used some of those and rolled them into um, Gen 13. So like, Roxy was one, um, and the others we created together, or I created, and then he brought to life through his pencils. And in the early days of Image, when we were selling a ton of comics, sometimes you're bringing in an 18-year-old kid, a 19-year-old kid. In the very early days, they'd be pulling in over 100,000, working on like two comic books. That's crazy. Um, and Hey, Scott Kurtz, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Everyone's happy, healthy. I'm just waxing large. I don't even know what that means. Yeah, it was a crazy time, and of course, these kids had no idea. Sorry, these kids had no idea. Sorry, thanks. Give me notes about camera. I've zoomed in so you can kind of see the detail. Uh, they didn't understand that you had to pay taxes on income and stuff like that. See you later, Zero Lion or Zero Soul Lion. And yeah, it was painful. It's painful. Financial management, finance management was not their thing. But buying sports cars were, and we were young. I think I was probably 28, 93, 29, 28, 29. Um, and uh, I bought an Acura NSX, and this was like 1992. I think that was the year the day that car debuted. And all these other kids, like they want, like, and Mark Silvestri he was in the studio at the time. He had come down from LA to join the studio in in San Diego, and he had a Viper, a Dodge Viper. Rob had bought a Dodge Viper. Those were beasts. I mean, they were beasts. I drove it once or twice. Uh, it's American hot rod, designed for Americans, right? And I'm 5'4", soaking wet, and in that car, even with the seat all the way up to the front, my feet could barely touch the accelerator, the brake, and the clutch. And so to shift, I would have to like slide down into my seat like this, hit the clutch, and then pull back up to shift in that car. But it was a lot of fun. And then the center console of that car was like metal. It was unprotected, and it would get super hot. And so if you wore shorts, which you would in San Diego in the summer, like my knee would touch the center console, like when I would dive down to hit that clutch, and kind of burn the side of my leg, right? And yeah, so being stupid young people with fast cars, we'd drive around like crazy. And one time we were driving on Highway 15. We pulled off onto Mira Mesa Boulevard to go up to the studio, which was by the Denny's there. And we just were coming down the ramp super fast, going around. And I think I was racing against Silvestri. And I just know I hit that turn, made that left, made that light. And I think he was trying to make the light too. And I just hear this, and I look at my back view mirror, and I see his. Actually, at that time it was a Corvette. He had switched to a Corvette at that point, and he just like did a complete like 360 spun out because those cars, they're driven to have power, but the ride balance, traction control, not ideal. And I'm sure he was mortified, just like uh, losing like literally in the intersection off this ramp. Super dangerous, kids. I don't recommend this. This is not the thing. This is not something to emulate. In fact, this was a completely imaginary tale designed just to amuse you at this late hour. Um, yeah, it was all real, and if you hit the accelerate too hard, it's just not designed. It's too much power for the wheels; they lose traction against the ground. That's exactly what happens in these hypothetical situations. And but anyway, so I'm there. All these like 19-year-old kids are coming into ridiculous sums of money, especially if you consider it's the 90s. Dollar is worth more than it is now. And they have zero credit. They have no credit, and you need credit to buy a car. And so I would go. I think I co-signed for like 5 or 6 cars. Co-signing is when you basically pledge that if they can't make the payment, you're gonna basically they can come after you for the money. So we bought a Nissan 300Z. That's what Jeff Campbell bought. Alex Garner had a Mitsubishi 3000 GT, which was essentially the same car as it was an American version of that same car. I can't remember, but it was a pretty sweet car. Brett Booth bought a Camaro, I believe. Yeah. And then another time, Scott Clark, who's no longer with us, but he also had a 3000 GT. And I think Trevor Scott had I think he had a Supra. Matt Broom definitely had a Supra. I drove his car. Anyway, they were like racing back to the studio from dinner or whatever from you know, and they were driving quickly on the highway. And actually, one of I think Scott Clark he flipped his car and he was literally driving on the rooftop. Right, the car was sliding on Highway 15 upside down, and he ended up going to the hospital. He scraped off the top part of his head actually. So I think that slowed him down for a little while. But yeah, that's what happens when you make stupid money when you're young. I wouldn't advise it. Not a good thing. Yeah. Moral of the story: never race. Yes. Yes. Sure. Um, yeah. I'm all about the Prius these days. I think. Good night, DJ Mittens. Auf Wiedersehen. I have that the turbocharged Prius. It's the 12 cylinder Prius. Yeah. I do not have a Tesla. I've driven in a Tesla before. I really love cars. Uh, my wife can attest to this. Like when we're driving down the street, the only time she'll see my head crane out the window is not because I see someone, but usually it's always a car. Like, um, that's just something that got imprinted onto me at a very early age, and I understand fossil fuels. I get it. I am on the wait list, or I'm on the wait list apparently for supposedly for one of those Taycans, Tycons. Sorry, Tycons. Spelled Taycan, pronounced Tycon. Yeah, this electric car. So I'm taking some things to black now. I could either do it now or later. I was just kind of doing lines, but I'm just doing a proof of concept here if I go all the way to where I need to be. Something like that. Waxing nostalgic is the phrase I was looking for before. Might have been because I talked to Mark Silvestri today about some business stuff. The first car that I had, my parents bought for me, so it was very kind of them to do that. It was a Ford Mustang. Then later, I got a Honda Accord. The first car I bought for myself was a Miata stick. And how old was I? In my 20s, I guess, early 20s. And then, so I think I had the Accord and the Miata. And then I bought the NSX. Which at the time was like this super technologically advanced car. But it was designed, the design on it, I want to say the back wheels were, am I in frame? I hope so. The back wheels were canted a bit. I mean, most wheels go straight up and down. They're canted this way, probably. So they wore out exceptionally fast. And I had to replace the wheels after like 3,000 miles or something. It was like $1,500. Ridiculous. So I ended up trading in that car. All right. Canted. They're saying cambered, but I'm saying canted. Canted. What is my dream car? I would say it's the Porsche 918. If you guys are familiar with the cars, I think that I thought long and hard about selling everything I owned. It would have been a good investment, actually. Those cars have gone up. I think they've doubled in value. My friend has a John Domain. He owns a Ford GT. Those are super nice. I got to drive in that too, or drive it. That's a very fun stick car to drive. You can race it super smart. You can race cars. You just go to a track. I've done driving schools, high performance driving school. I did the Porsche one down in Montgomery, Alabama. I did the Mercedes one in at the Laguna Seca racetrack near Monterey. They're like 3 or 4 day schools where you go and you wear driving race car helmets, and the instructors basically teach you how to drive fast on a racetrack in their 911s or AMG GTs. Uh, so you're both on the track and then you're also doing some autocross. It's pretty fun. I would highly recommend it. It's pricey, of course, but um, they do teach you some pretty valuable skills about how to maintain traction and road control or road control, car control on slick surfaces. They have a I forgot what it's called, a G track. No, I don't know. It's a surface where you drive and a circular disc in the center and it spins. So as you drive over it and they wet it down, um, the spinning disc basically puts your car into a spin, and they teach you how to counter steer to get out of that spin and get control of the car back really fast. Yeah, you steer into the slide, but then you also need to look where you want to go. So if you're going this way and you start spinning, you should look back to where you want to go and then steer into the slide. And then, yeah, you can learn how to drift. Um, and then they teach you kind of as you're drifting to kind of look. I don't know. It's hard to describe. But yeah, you learn these skills. Good night, Scott. I'm glad. I'm glad you were able to um, realize your dream and self-publish and all that. I definitely am. I'm very proud of what Image has achieved and continues to achieve. And yeah, it was, and we had a lot of fun doing that too. So have a good night. I've gone airborne in a car. That's very scary. Basically, these things are rockets, and if you lose traction with the ground, that's where it gets very dangerous. Because once you're airborne, you can't slide out of that turn. you can't you can't you have no control of the car. And yeah, and this is before Uber. I don't even know how. I must have. I think I before cell phones, so I think I probably walked somewhere and called a friend to pick me up because I landed badly and the car was leaking some greenish fluid. More car stories. I think 4 years older than my sister. I have one sister. She was 15. We were driving back from his friend's house, a mutual friend's house, in St. Louis. Thought it'd be like the benevolent older brother and say, "You want to drive?" I've never seen her drive before. Like, you know what? I'll be the cool older brother. I'll let you drive my car. It's late at night. It's like 1 in the morning. It's a couple miles. I'll let you go ahead and drive, and you know, we'll have this cool kind of bonding experience. So I let her get on the wheel of this Ford Mustang T top. We're driving straight, no problem. What can possibly go wrong? We get to the very first turn. She starts turning the car. I'm like, okay, good, good, good. And then she didn't stop turning the wheel and drove my car into a ditch, right into a ditch. Again, no cell phones back in, she was 15, 15 plus 69, 68. So it's 15 plus 68, 83, 1983. So I had to walk to a police station. We both had to walk to the police station. where I had to call my dad like 2 in the morning to come have him come pick us up. Yeah. And I had to explain to him that I drove the car into the ditch. But he knew. I hope he knew. No, he knew. I'd explained to the cops that I drove the car into a ditch, but my dad knew. Yeah. Need to make sure and see what this reference is. I will speed up. I'm just like pacing myself. I got an hour 15. The goal is to get this done by 2 o'clock. If I weren't streaming, it would go faster. I'd be done. I'm blaming you guys. Yeah, I didn't tell the cops that it wasn't me, but my dad. Yeah. Why would I drive into a ditch? I mean, literally was a right turn, you know, and the roads all have ditches by the sides for the rains in the Midwest. But a tow truck had to come and basically pull the car out. The sad thing is a lot of the detail I'm putting here, it's just going to be, it's going to end up being covered, made black, I think, and ultimately. But I won't give myself the option of not doing that. It's funny, I'm like looking at the stream. You guys are seeing it closer than I'm seeing it. Like, it's odd watching it, the lines go on the page. It looks like I'm actually controlling it a lot more than I am. If that makes any sense. I'm just kind of like laying down just shapes. As in Lunny Lunny, I'm not taking credit for the work was done in the layout stage. Right now, I'm just reacting to things I'm seeing on the page. I'm not thinking of the whole. I'm thinking of the before you're thinking of the whole. But now, oh, we have another rating party. Awesome. Darth Call is rating with a party 41. Welcome in, Darth Call. A call raid. Did I get LASIK surgery? I did get LASIK surgery. We're sharing. Welcome in, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm inking. You have time traveled back to the past before the invention of Photoshop and iPads and Cintiqs and monitors, and you're watching. I can't even describe what I'm doing. You're watching lines on paper creating the illusion of three-dimensional forms. Art Art King Insomnia. This laser, does it hurt? It's scary. I need to know. No, it's not. You have no nerves in your eyes. You cannot feel pain. It still hurts if someone pushes your eyeballs out of your skull. Because I've watched Game of Thrones. But I've had LASIK surgery. And then I also had a retinal tear. Good night, Jean Carr. And so the back of my eyeball, the retinal wall, tore in my left eye. I was walking around a mall with a baseball cap on. And while we're walking around, all of a sudden I start doing this. I was doing this because I literally saw from the brim of my hat, I thought all these spiders were dropping down. And it's because the tear in the back of my eyeball was releasing fluid into my eye, and those were floaters, right? You guys know what floaters are, right? Floaters are like when you stare, sometimes you see like a line, it looks like a paramecium or a piece of bacteria or a black dot, and it just kind of literally floats around like a speck of dust, right? So if you have a lot of floaters because there's retinal tear, it literally looked like spiders was just like a stream of spiders were dropping, and I was like going, whoa, whoa, what the, I thought I was being attacked. And I did some Googling and discovered what I had, and I went to see an eye doctor, and they basically said you have a tear in the back of your eye, but I can fix it. You misspelled paramecium, Kelsey. Oh my God, what happened to all the years of education that we have invested in you? Um, you tell her, right, bread. Um, and the doctor goes, I can laser seal that tear. I'm like, that sounds good, doctor. I'm up for it. I'm thinking, all right, I got to make an appointment. I'm going to have to go under anesthesia. I'm going to have to sign documents. I actually had to sign documents. He goes, no, all right, let's do it. I'm like, what? Like now? And he's like, yeah. You didn't? Paramecium spelled that way? Maybe it looks different in all caps. Uh, anyway, so he pulls out a disc, like a lens. No, what the? Well, he had a device. He held this device. He had a laser in his pocket, and then he had a magnifying glass that he put over his eye, and he held my head like this, and he basically took this laser and looked through my eyeball and shot that laser through my iris, and essentially sealed the back of my eyeball. Um, yeah, it seemed very sketchy, and I should never have answered the ad for eye surgeries in Tijuana super cheap because I had no idea. I mean, luckily I had a little high school Spanish. I can understand what he was saying. I think that's what we were doing. I'm not sure. No, it was in La Jolla. He was like a real doctor. But I was just amazed, and I'm thinking in my head like this would be a horrible story today. You would think it'd be a viral headline, you know. Stupid artist thinks he thinks it's smart to get eye surgery from a doctor holding a handheld lens. I thought it would be like a machine, like a Elon Musk design thing, like with coordinates, and they use AI to figure out exactly. But he literally just like, you know, and yeah, he sealed it right up, so no more floaters. But I had scar tissue in the back of my retinal wall, and for a long time, like colors look different in one eye versus the other, and things look elongated in this eye. They still look elongated, but my brain has kind of fixed it over time. So that's eye story number one. Eye story number two is when I had the LASIK surgery, and it might be tied to the retinal tear. When you go and do it, there are different variations of the surgery. In the old days, they would literally cut off the top part of your cornea. I should give a spoiler alert for those of you who are squeamish. Right? If this is your eyeball, okay, there would be a, what were those called? Those things that slice. What is called? Anyone? Not knives. Not a guillotine. It's like if you have a bunch of tissue, it would do a micro slice, and then that piece of tissue, someone's gonna figure this out. Someone's smart out there. What are they called? They give you a thin slice. The slicer microblade. No, 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 no. Katana. No, we're not talking superheroes. Box cutter. All right, whatever. Cheese grater. That's it. It was a cheese grater. The doctor, they would take a cheese grater, they would slice through, and they would cut off the top part of your cornea, and then they would shoot the beam through your eye. I didn't do that surgery. I did the one where they take your eye, and they slice it, so the flap, you have a flap in your eyeballs like this, iris. And then they beam that lasers in the back and then just do whatever. Okay. And then they just let the flap sit back. And the same way they would just put that back on top, the cornea then would seal itself. Right? So they give you a little Valium and some orange juice. I do the right eye first. They basically put that device in your eye that, like from Clockwork Orange, they keep your eye open. And then they tell you, whatever you do, do not look at the beam of light. Do not look at the light. Because if you look at the light, you can blind yourself. So the whole time while they're doing it, and you hear that, you're trying to look off elsewhere, but you can't help but know that there's this light, and you kind of like want to look there and go like, crap, no, I'm looking at the light. No, don't. Right? Micro keratome. I think a keratome is the device I was thinking about. Thank you. Perfect, Tofu. Thank you. So that went well. Then they went to this eye, and that took it felt like 5 minutes, but it was probably about 30 seconds. And then they went to this eye, they cut the flap, they start beaming, and then I just noticed it was taking longer and longer. And when they do this, your vision goes black. You see nothing, and then you just see a little thing of light. Darth Call. Did I do the Thundercats comics? We published it through Wildstorm. I've done a couple Thundercats covers. If you Google Jim Lee Thundercats, I think of Lionel and some others. But yeah, Thundercats is owned by I think a subdivision of Warner Brothers. So we've touched that property several times in its history. Anyway, this eye took a lot longer, and what happened is they screwed up. They cut the flap off that I was talking about, and I don't know if it fell to the ground, but they had to put it back on and let it sit and let it naturally heal. So I'm wondering if that extra, whatever they were doing in that eye, kind of weakened my retinal wall and eventually caused it to tear years later. Right? Yeah. Keratome, that was it. So when I had the retinal tear, so one of the options was doing a full-on surgical procedure. where they could basically, like, they did a cross scan of the back of my retinal wall. Most people have it like this, right? But I had like scar tissue like this built up, and so that's why images were being distorted. But they said they could go in and clean all that up. But the way they do that is they drain all the fluid out of the inside of your eye. Then they go in. I don't know how they go in. Do they pull out the eye? I don't know. They go in and they clean up the back. Um, and I'm of the mindset, like, if it's not terribly broken, I can live with it, and I did, and it's okay. I don't know if there are any eye doctors here that could kind of share what they do to get in there, but it does happen to people. It's the vitriol fluid, I think. Vitriol fluid is what it's called. I did some research on it back in the day. And I was like, okay, once I saw that you had drained the fluid out of my eye and it might not work again afterwards, I was like, I'm out. I will make do with my distorted vision in my left eyeball. All right, I've got 1 hour. I didn't do the fluid draining. That's what I'm trying to say. Same thing when I tore the rotator cuff on my shoulder. They can do surgery, but man, it really can screw up your arm. So I just chose to let it heal naturally, and it's okay. It's, I don't have the same degree of motion as I do on my other arm, but it works. I can pick up my kid now, which I couldn't do before, so that's all I really needed to do. Darth Call or Carl, did I get the name right? Why did you ask if yeah, Aikido, you don't have to wear glasses. Actually, you do. When you get to a certain age, you basically start going farsighted again. That's just normal. So I have a hard time seeing things that are close now. I used to be really badly nearsighted. But Darth Cole, why did you ask about uh, Thundercats? Is that your thing? I'm gonna pull the camera back a little bit because I want you to see a little. Oops, other way. There we go. Perfect tofu? Would I recommend LASIK? Absolutely, man. I was like near blind. If I would wake up. I was like, my prescription was like a 8, whatever the diopters or whatever, however it's measured. The contact lenses I wore were like a 8, which means I think that what people could see at 20 feet, I could see at 20 feet what most people could see at 800 feet. It was really bad. So when I would wake up, I could not even see where my glasses were unless they were like within like this distance to me. If it was beyond this distance, I couldn't see. It was blurry. So, yeah, you get some dry eye with the LASIK surgery. They might, this is back in the 90s. I'm sure they fixed a lot of that stuff, and it's a faster, better procedure. I don't think they even cut the flap anymore. I think they go right through I believe. Anyway, so yeah, definitely worth it. I didn't get any of that halo vision, which sometimes happens when you look at lights at night, which would be a drag. But it was a huge game changer, quality of life issue for sure, 100%. I don't have a stigmatism, no. But I was horribly nearsighted, and then as you get older, you just start getting farsighted. So, which is a lot of fun because you can't, you do a lot of this like old man stuff. My phone, like the The words are like the letter T is like this big on the screen. THE. I have to scroll down to get to the next word. The email. The attachment was not attached to the email. That's what I have to live with. Good night, Joshua Flowers, 1979. Okay. Here's what we got going on so far. Steak and cheese. I got glasses the other day. Yeah, I remember the first time I got glasses. Like I was like, whoa, I can see every leaf on that tree. I never knew you could see every leaf on a tree. I remember getting our eyes checked in grade school when I was like fourth grade, and I scored very poorly on the test. Like they had the chart on the wall. You go read it, and they would go like, "Oh, your eyesight's not good. You're gonna need glasses." I'm like, I don't want glasses. I don't want to be one of those kids. There's a real stigma to wearing glasses back then. You get punched, get beat up, and so I just kind of shuffled off to the side, got close to the eye chart, and I memorized the lines that I couldn't read, and I got back into line, and I did it again, and I passed. So I didn't have to wear glasses till ooh, like 3 years later, maybe finally. Art of SCCS has resubbed for 2 months. Jared Prime has resubbed as well. Baba Majaga has resubbed. Sarah Dope has hosted with 12 viewers. Hey, Sarah Dope. I know Sarah Dope. Sorry, I missed that hosting from before. 40. I don't know if you're still around, Sarah, but if you are, thank you very much. Good to see you again. Alex Noble Art has subbed as well. Roy Batty asks, "Can you be too old to get LASIK surgery?" I don't know. I don't know. I think not. That feels like a question for Google. All right. Yeah, you definitely superhero swim art. Have I ever cheated on a test in school? I did not. I would cram. The closest I came, I think, is that sometimes you'd have a test, right? Especially like chemistry or math or whatever, and I would have the book, the textbook, right as they're kind of passing out the tests. And I'd be looking at the equations and kind of committing them to visual memory. And then right as they start past, like they like put away the books, I would close that book and I would write down on the table on my desk the equations from like my memory, and then I would refer to those equations, right? So I wouldn't commit them to long-term memory, but it was kind of like short-term memory, and that would then put it right on. Stop it. It's not. That is definitely not cheating. What's wrong with you guys? That is 100% not cheating. How is that cheating? How would that possibly fall under cheating? Art of Blake, thank you very much for the raid. I appreciate it. A lot of people out there raiding tonight. Technically not cheating. The teacher was right there. I went to a very small school. The class, these classes would have 5 to 7 students in it. When I was graduating class of 62, if you took advanced chemistry, AP Chem, I think there was like 5 or 7 of us in that. How is it a loophole? It's not cheating. How is it possibly cheating? I'm taking something from my memory and writing it down on the table. I wrote it down after the test started. You guys are gonna get me upset. Short-term cheating. I don't know, man. What if you wrote it on your eraser? Then it's cheating? I think if you write down anything after a test starts, it's not cheating. How could it be cheating? Meaning, assume there was no book there and they've passed me the test, and I just write in the margins the quadratic formula, PV equals, I don't even know what PV equals anymore. Pressure times volume is something temperature squared or something, whatever, That's what I wrote down. PV is nRT, that's right. Pressure volume is constant times something times temperature. What is R? Pressure volume constant temperature. What is R? It can't be radius. What is that? Rodeo. Reynolds constant. R is a constant, then N is the number of moles. Correct? R is the constant. I knew there was a constant in there. Jesus. Like Avogadro's number, right? You look at it, close the book, 6.02 times, or whatever, times 10 to the 23rd. Easy. Not cheating. Drink some water. I think I should drink some water. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to take a break. You guys got me worked up about this cheating thing. I'm not a cheater. I'll be right back. Avocado. Yes. Avocado toast number. Be right back. All right. Yeah, it was six something to the 10 to the 23rd power. Let me tell you, I've never used that number ever again. It's the number of molecules in a cubic liter, and no matter what the element is, it's constant given certain pressure and temperature situations, I believe. Number of molecules in a mole, is that right? Isn't it a mole? I don't know. I'm making things up. Uh, ever since the internet and Google, I've offloaded a lot of information. You just need to tag it, right? You just need to know what to search for and how it's applicable to any situation. At least that's what I tell myself. Yeah, Kelsey, I was thinking that exact same thing. I didn't want to say it to you like you just wasted 4 years of your life in college, but no, no, it's still useful to. I don't know. I think the most useful thing you can learn in college is how to communicate both orally and through the written word. Dot Wonder Woman. Why do they teach you stuff you don't need? Because when you're young, you don't know what you need. There, doesn't that sound very condescending? I think that's kind of what how I understand it. And you never know if you need to know. All right. Okay, I got to finish this soon, so I should probably grab a brush at this point and fill in a lot of the black areas, so that will give me the confidence that I'm actually closer to being done than it looks, and then I can convince my internal meter that I will stay up or not. I think college is very, very worth it, though. And it's not just because my daughter is on here, although she's already finished, so I don't need to sugarcoat it for her. What if it's not what you learn, but the attempt at learning that's the true takeaway? SSBM Quigs has resub for 2 months. Awesome. Thank you very much. Got some happy leaves here. When you did the Blueberry box, did they give you a bunch of free cereal? Yeah, I got well, we didn't just do the Blueberry, we did an overall deal with General Mills. I ended up designing the Blueberry box. Dave Johnson did, I think, Frankenberry, and who did Count Chocula? Anyway, but then we also did like a little cartoon. I don't know if there was a comic strip that came in, or maybe it was just on the backside. I don't know. But we got pallets of cereal. I still have a box or two boxes in my office that are unopened. They have not expired yet. So I'm gonna wait right like the day before they expire, crack those open, get some fresh milk. It's gonna be awesome. Blueberry was my favorite cereal growing up. You had blue milk after you finished the cereal. That's the best. Steak and cheese, where are you from? Those are fighting words. That's like 5-year-old cereal. It might even be older than that. I don't know. I should grab a box and open it up on stream. Uh, Hi, are you drawing anime? Yeah, this is anime. Do you like anime? Where am I from? uh, hey, the Jaker 99. I thought you were going to bed, dude. No more destroying cars, Jim. Only comics. Have a good night. Thank you again for your incredible generosity. You made my night. I appreciate it. Um, have a good evening. How could that be evening? You're in Australia. Hey Siri, what time is it in Australia?
It's 6:21 p.m. in Canberra, Australia.
6:21. So you go to bed early. Anyway, yeah. Have a good night. Good evening. Maybe you've got other plans. You've got more important things to do. Where am I from? Oh, I thought you meant like where I live. Yeah, I'm Korean. My family and my family, both my father's side and mother's side, are from what is now known as North Korea, which was back then just Korea. And they fled south right after World War II when the communists came rushing in from the Soviet Union. Or was it the Chinese? I don't know. Since I botched avocado, that blah, 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 that number, I am now questioning everything I know. Some communist state came in. They basically fled south, like a lot of people. They paid somebody to take them through the mountain range that knew the mountain. Sounds like a D&D adventure. They bought 12 torches, 60 feet of rope, uh, 3 bags of granola, a stepladder, a bastard sword, a small round shield, and they hiked through the mountains to Seoul. Yeah, escaping North Korea. Iron rations, that's it. That's the word I was looking for. Iron rations. They're always cheaper than regular rations. Why would anyone buy regular rations in that game? Seriously. Like it's not like I can taste the difference as a gamer. Iron rations did the exact same thing as regular rations and they cost less. So who the hell buys regular rations? Can you imagine you go into the general supply store at any given town? It's like just shelves and shelves of rations. Yeah, we're short of the iron rations. You're gonna have to buy the expensive stuff. Sorry. Exactly. Snotty rich kids. They taste better, yes. Drucifer 5000. Yeah, that was a D&D call out. I tried to play D&D with my wife and kids once. Actually, with some of the kids, I played more times when they were younger and gullible, and I could trick them into doing things. But more recently, as adults, I played with kids are like 36 and 38. There's one that's almost 42 now. Anyway, no, so we try to play with them as adults and have my wife play. So it's and all the oldest kids are girls. So I think there was like two boys and like four or five girls. I was the DM, correct. And so I'm doing this story adventure, and like they go into this area, this cavern. You hear these like horrible noises of creatures, like whatever, making these awful noises. And they're all like, "Oh my god!" We turn around and run. I'm like, "Okay, if you do not walk into this cave, there is no adventure. Turning around running exits you out of the game. It's over. Done. You go back to your desk job at the DMV." Yeah. What do we have here? Weeb tick, Weeb the ticks. I don't know what that is. Sounds like an unhealthy cereal. Gotta check for traps. Yeah. When we would play in high school, it'd be like every room you walk into, I check for traps. I check for secret doors. The most boring goddamn adventure group ever. Can you imagine if you were hanging out with friends like everywhere you walked? I look for hidden cameras. I check for overpowered Wi-Fi systems. Uh, okay, I enter the house. You know, hello, Japip. I'm conjuring. Hello, Jar Laxel 420. All right, yeah, that game was the greatest. We'd go into a dungeon and we'd find like a million gold pieces and we'd carry them all out. Oh, God. I don't know why I find it so funny, but those of you who have carried 1,000 gold pieces, you know what I'm talking about. It's only 1:30. If I had absolutely finished by 2, I could do it. But I don't know. maybe I'll finish Saturday's stream. There are some people, one guy who won a sort of a online raffle, so I'm gonna ink one of his pieces, and then Superhero Swimmer Art, who is definitely past his bedtime. He and I are doing a collab, and we're gonna sell that and then bank the money into Bitcoin and just make stacks of cash money, fat stacks. Stacks of banks. Yeah, we're gonna make stacks of banks. We're gonna make stacks of Federal Reserve coinage. I don't know. Stacks of stacks. The Gully Man. Can you shout out folks with the most outlandish styles that blew you away? Isn't a shout out kind of like acknowledgement? Okay, all right, I see what you're saying. But I feel like it's something you say to somebody. Like, hey, I just want to give a shout out to my mom for having me. It's a shout out to Kevin Nolan for the incredible line work he introduced me to. I don't want to use the word the wrong way. Yeah, gold pieces. We didn't play D&D correctly. We played it. We played it hyper aggressively, like we were in a rush. It's like cheat mode. We find a million gold pieces in a chest. I take them home. Boom, 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 boom. Leveled up to level 10 overnight. Awesome. And why would you want to play slowly? It'd be like doing it real time. Shout out to John Byrne for all the things he taught me about style, drawing women, creating the illusion of detail. Shout out to Art Adams for inspiring a whole generation of artists to noodle and put detail after detail. Yeah, Nightbot. Thank you very much, Mr. Nightbot. That guy's always so friendly, always so knowledgeable. He's there at every stream. And I'm assuming it's a guy. I don't know. Um, those are the shows. I think there's a show I might be doing in November too. I haven't kind of finalized that. And then next year, I'll be at Boston and MegaCon, which is Orlando. So I'm excited to go back to Orlando. Gotta check out that Star Wars land. By then, I'm hoping by next May that all the people that went opening day will be finally out of. They'll have kind of shooed them out of that space and allow some new people to come in. I'm hoping, maybe. Art of SCS. I go to New York Comic Con every year, so the chances are good. Favorite modern the Gully Man. So favorite modern weapon and favorite fantasy weapon. Boy, that's a very open-ended question. Favorite weapon, like to slaughter orcs or to intimidate children? Uh, favorite Fortnite gun? Favorite PUBG weapon? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with the M4, fully kitted out. And then the fantasy weapon, or maybe that was the fantasy weapon. That was PUBG. It'd be the Fiery Avenger. All you people that played EverQuest know what I'm talking about. Again, play PUBG. That's an approximation of what I do. Edgeworth Kitty, do you have any advice for those who want to make their own original comics? Yes. Come up with a story. And if you can draw the story. If you can't draw, find someone who can draw the story. Put said story online. Create next story. Rinse and repeat. There's my advice. And I mean that seriously. Casey Gesk. Yeah, Inkone's been here for a while. He's been hanging out with us this evening. I've never been a fan of druids in any game. No offense. They always seem like a support class to me. Like I need to go somewhere fast. Druid, become a bear so I can climb on you and you can get me there. Ooh, I'm offending a lot of people. I take that back. Paladin technically is a hybrid class. I don't know if it's a support. I like the Paladin just because I think the payoff of these kind of, at least D&D, it's sword and sorcery. You know who can do that? A Paladin. They have a sword and they can cast spells. It's not fuzzballs and transportation. Sword and sorcery. That's true. Cross contour. Yes, you're bringing up some very painful memories. That is true. They did. They did do that. I thought they got rid of that after a while, though. Thank you, Piguavara, for subscribing. The shift in perspective when you move the page made my brain tiny or not. What? It is different because the camera's at an angle and the table's at an angle. So it looks bigger down here. And then here's the real deal. Like this is probably at the angle you probably need to see it at. If you go to the Discord channel that we have that's associated with this Twitch stream, I'm not going to finish this tonight. I'll finish it tomorrow. So I might stream tomorrow. Sorry, Crispy. I hate to put the mods through it, and I don't expect the mods to be there. It's Friday night. They have important things to do, like play Fortnite. So I just want to make sure that Happy Mod is a happy channel, so I don't want to impinge upon their private time. Anyway, so I'm not going to kill myself. I've got important meetings tomorrow. Important meetings. And a full day at the office. So, and I don't want to rush this. I'm having a good time just doing this. And so I might stream it tomorrow night to finish it, and then Saturday morning to do the other ink stuff. We'll see how it goes. But I don't know where I was going with all that. Tomorrow's Friday. Rejoice. Jarlax 420. Can you tell that to the woman I mod for? Who do you mod for? Yeah, that's right. Crispy is complaining. Kirihiko is here, maybe. She's over in Switzerland. But Crispy, yeah. I mean, most people that stream like 5 days a week or some crazy thing like that, right? Just fixing Call of Duty player. Awesome. Right? Don't they stream a lot? An elephant. Oh my god. What? Who's that? That was the longest friggin' shower ever. You must be squeaky clean. Wow. Yeah, it's a rare spawn. All you EverQuest players, we had to basically clear this whole plane of anxiety. We cleared the plane of anxiety, and boom, Renelphin has spawned. Yeah, a plane of fear, plane of hate. I've done those. Fake Ren. Ren, are you going to install that RTX card? Did you guys feel that? It felt a little bit like a very mild earthquake. Did anyone feel that? No? No? Okay. Shout out to Mike Mignola for all he taught me about negative space and how to use blacks to really frame composition. I'm going to do a series of Tourette's call-outs, shout-outs. So just randomly, I'm going to just call out people that have inspired me. Oh, before I was saying, we have 5 dogs now. Kelsey just reminded me. And for whatever reason, they decide to wake up every day at 6:30 in the morning and start barking in unison. So it's hard to sleep in. That's what I'm trying to say. So the days of the streams that would go to like 4:30, 5:30, very difficult. Do I want to buy one for $400? I know I can get Ren down to 350. I'm gonna channel my inner Todd McFarlane. Bud, I'll take that graphic card for $10. This is he would do this. He would go. That was like the crazy Jedi mind trick. 90-10, bud. Anyway. Good night, BRP 10909. Duraz has subbed using Prime. Thank you very much. That was not the invitation, Kelsey. All right. I don't like that. I don't know what's going on there. I think it should be more like this. Just like it wasn't cheating. It was definitely not cheating. Stop. Was Kobayashi Maru? Was that cheating? I think not. Monsage. Good morning, my European peeps. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. We have a braiding party of 33. Bjorn Huri. Welcome in. Liz Business 36. Yeah, he's become part of the parliament. That's right. Clever use of game mechanics. Everything I learned was from Star Trek, the original series. Hey, Brendan Louise. Good morning. East Coast, waking up super early. D. Rooster for 5,000. What? You haven't been drinking all this time? Tisk, tisk, as they say. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of wearing red shirts. I identified mostly, I think, with kind of a hybrid of Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock. I was never a fan of Bones or Scotty. Steak and cheese, my favorite beer. I don't have a favorite beer because I'm not a teenager. No offense to any of those who favorite things. I, Amstel Light, Guinness, if I want something heavier. How can you not like the beam up guy? You mean Leslie Nelson? Was Commander Lieutenant Leslie was his name? I can't remember. From Big Island 24. Let me guess, you're from the Big Island and you're 24. First time catching you live from Hawaii. Great. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. Where's Bjorn Hurry? Bjorn Hurry, are you here? Paging Bjorn Hurry. I am here. That was a pop reference. People have to drink. Where are you from, Bjorn Hurry? Are you Swedish? Or is that, it might be a name from an anime? I am Swedish, but I work in the UK. All right. I'm going to ask questions, and as long as I keep getting correct answers, I will keep asking. You work in the UK. All right, let me think. Are you a why would a Swede work in the UK? Do you work? Wait, but he's also. It's evening. He's just raided. Oh wait, what time? Wait, it's morning. What am I saying? It's morning. So he's been gaming all night, assuming he's gaming. But wait, he said he works. What would one do in the UK that one couldn't do in Sweden? It's 11 in the morning. Oil rigs, that's not a bad answer. But I think they pretty much get the oil. Like, he's not, you think he's going to game all night and then go work in the oil rigs? That's super dangerous, the oil rigs. I would not want to be tired. Exotic dancer. It's possible. The Swedes are attractive specimens of humanity. But 11 o'clock, honestly, is a little late to be getting back. All the smart money leaves at 2 in the morning or so, I've read. Roy Batty, you've killed it. He's an artist. Wait, but he could do that from, or are you guessing as well, Roy Batty? No one go to, like, exotic dancer. I was going to say finance, because London is a big center for finance. But that would mean he gamed all night and then is going to work as a banker? He says he works in London, though. All right, I'm going to go with it. Bjorn Hurry, is your day job working in finance? I am an art director at an outsourcing studio and have implemented a studio-wide mandatory warm-up session in the morning. I stream my 30-minute warm-up sketches. Oh, okay. Cool. I knew he wasn't a finance guy. I was just, that makes sense. Awesome. He's a spy. The Swedes don't spy on anyone. Scandinavians as a people are very trusting people. They don't. Have you heard of any Scandinavian spies? Are there any Scandinavian spy agencies? Have you heard of, the SCIA, the Scandinavian CIA? Have you heard of that? No. See? That's why they're so good. No one knows. Do you remember that one mission in World War II where those Swedish spies? No. See, Swedes, pretty good soccer players, very good drinkers, especially on barges, I'm told, on ferries. Good night, Shade Priests. Thanks for the stream and answering questions. Oh, you're thanking me. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. I will have to check out one of these. So you stream for 30 minutes a day? How do I get that job? All right, good night, Aided Warrior. I'm close to being done myself. Yeah, daily 30 minutes on stream before tackling client work offline. and Graphics, the best 30 minutes of my days. Finnish chocolate is very good. Swiss is Switzerland, but I wouldn't pass them. Huh, that's cool. Micro streams. 30 minutes isn't micro streams. I'll have to check it out. Thank you for the raid. It's cool that we got rated by another creative. That's usually what we do at the end. The Shoe Thief. You're not bad, Jim. You might be able to get a job in comics. I don't know, man. Comics are hard to get into these days. Comics does need fresh blood. Who's an artist in recent years, you guys, that has really kind of ignited the creative landscape in a way that has become sort of a must have? What am I trying to even say? I put words together that don't mean anything. Who's out there that's relatively new that really has become a must pick up for you guys every Wednesday? Good night, Queen City Amusements. Gonna head out and get some food. Thanks for making everyone feel a little hungry. Greg Capullo's been around for decades. Jorge Jimenez. Say newcomer. Jason Fabok. Clayman, relatively new. Ed McGinnis is not new. Bjorn Hurry. Visit Graphics. Team Born Hurry for sure. Sean Gordon Murphy. He's been around a bit, but yeah, he's killing it. Nick Darrington is awesome. 100%. Chris Burnham's been around for a bit, but also spectacular. Bob Ross still amazes from the grave. Dominic Stanton, Domo Stanton, he's good for sure. I know Domo. He was actually part of our talent development program. We brought him into Burbank. Ink One, Recon asks, what is your favorite character in comics? Your favorite to pencil, and why? Well, that sounds like a essay question. I need to cheat for that one. Hold on one second. Let me think of it and write it down real quick. I don't really have they're characters that people like a lot, so it's fun to draw stuff that people like. All right, we're getting close to we're 3 minutes. So as we approach the 2 a.m. 4 hour mark, you can see that probably about 40% finished. In my mind, about 80%, because I would grab a brush at this point and just like fill in the areas of black. It would feel much finished. I'm just doing the line work at this point. I do need to finish this up so that Alex and Claire can color it this weekend. So I will most likely work tomorrow night and stream, and so you can see part 2 of this. Thank you guys for tuning in at this very on short notice and at this hour. I want to thank all the people that rated. I want to thank the guy, the Jaker 99, for just going above board with his generosity with the donations. That's certainly a first. I want to thank Kryak I can't even talk. Um, Krayak. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank the mods. If I could talk, Kirihiko. Let's think. Ren Elephant, Cryotic. That's right. Sorry. And Crispy Egg Roll, Poop Kid, unofficial mod for staying up and being part of the stream. It's very unusual to see Crispy this side of the number 1-2. And yeah, I'll see you guys probably tomorrow night. I will post on the Discord if that's definitely happening. Otherwise, I will see you Saturday morning. All right. And we are also going to raid someone ourselves. So I'm going to wait for Kirihiko to drop into the Discord channel where we're going to go. She's driving this ship in reality. We're all just members, inhabitants of Kirihiko's world. Why am I whispering? Okay. She did this half an hour ago. That's how organized the Swiss are. She had it figured out even before I thought it. All right. It was lovely spending time with you guys. And I hope to see a lot of you guys again. We are going to go raid someone right now. We usually like to go and raid creatives, just to share the love. If you guys can hang out, I'll probably hang out for a couple of minutes just to check out their work, say hello. And I will post a picture of this work in progress in the Discord channel. You guys can check it out. So there's some benefit of being a member of the Discord stream. Thank you again. And thank you, Cryotic and the other raiders. And I'll see you guys shortly. Have a good one.